Hello and welcome to the Overland Journal podcast. I'm your host, Matt Scott, and I'm here with Peter and Kathy Holcombe from FamaGogo. They've been traveling for 11 years?
11 years.
Full-time, 11 years.
Our first vehicle that we traveled together was a Honda Civic with a Rubbermaid action packer bolted onto the roof.
Okay.
Because we didn't have enough room in it.
Yeah.
And we would go all over the West rock climbing and do 1 month to 3 month thing. 3 months was probably our max trip on that vehicle.
Man.
And we have fond memories, and we lost a lot of mufflers along the way.
Lost a lot of mufflers, but I guess what you're kind of now known for are your very accomplished travels in vans. You're like the van life people.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited because I'm van curious now. So this is going to be a very selfish podcast where Matt talks to the people that just drove the Pan American Highway in a Winnebago Revel. And I'm stoked for this.
Thanks.
So thanks for coming on. It's
Thank
been a
you.
while. It's been a while in the making.
We've been a longtime listener, and we are so excited to be here because you guys have gotten us down many, many miles. If I ever get drowsy driving, I pop on one of your podcasts, and it's like an hour is instantly taking me down the road. So I love it.
We appreciate that. Somebody's listening apparently. So
we are.
That's cool. So I guess for this, we'll kind of focus on your adventures in the Revel, in the Sprinter van. So you guys, because you did Europe was your first kind of like big trip in that.
Yeah.
So where did you ship from?
So we shipped from Baltimore to Zeebrugge.
Yeah, a lot of people do that. Into Bruges.
Yes. And we did that in 2019. We spent 6 months exploring Europe. We went from the top of Norway down to Italy, and from the UK all the way over to Croatia. 19 countries.
Croatia's supposed to be great.
Croatia's awesome.
It was my favorite.
It's like what people are kind of afraid of it for some reason, and it's like, why?
They shouldn't be.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
So I think one of the interesting things with like the Revel with the Sprinter is they're kind of like the perfect size. Like it's the smallest package that you can get that fits in a regular parking space, has a shower, toilet, bed, air conditioning, like all of the things that you would expect from like an RV. And it's cool that you guys went, because a lot of people don't really do Europe. They kind of forget about it. It's like awesome. I have to drag my proverbial, through the sand as much as possible to be an overlander, but
yeah,
Europe sounds great. Like what was walk me through that trip?
Okay, so we shipped into Zeebrugge. We're also very passionate whitewater kayakers.
Yeah, that's the purpose of your travels, really,
Exactly.
right?
That's it. Our travels.
And the whole family does it.
Yeah.
Yes. Our daughter's a world champion kayaker.
Yeah, because you guys were just in Vail for the what was the name of that?
GoPro Mountain Games.
GoPro Mountain Games. Yeah.
Our daughter was competing there, and we were just in Germany. We didn't take the rig over, but we flew over to Germany for the World Championships of kayaking. And that was really the emphasis of our trip to Europe, was the World Championships were going to be in Spain.
Okay.
And so we knew we were going to Spain, and we wanted to enjoy Europe. And so why not take our van over with us and spend 6 months exploring all of Europe? And so we shipped into Zeebrugge, and then we went south to Spain because we had to get to the World Championships pretty quick.
Yeah.
Then after that played out, we went all over. So we pretty much worked our way up to Norway, up to Nordkapp.
And that's on my list.
Yeah. Norway in general, I could just spend a whole summer in Norway. It's great. And the paddling there is amazing. And then from there down into Germany, we got to go, we met up with our friends from Winnebago at the Dusseldorf Caravan Salon.
Oh, that's supposed to be huge.
It's massive.
It's all the cool stuff that we don't get. I mean, we get a lot of cool stuff now. I should stop saying that because 10 years ago, we didn't get the cool stuff.
Yeah.
Now we get the cool stuff. But,
Yeah.
how big is that show?
It was massive. We've been to the big shows in the States, and it was like another 2 or 3 levels.
And we just saw things that we'd never seen before in the States. And so that was really exciting to see different chassis and different builds.
What year were you guys there? That was 2018?
That was
2019.
19, yeah. Sprinters obviously have they've become more and more and more popular, but 2019, all the cool stuff for sprinters was kind of in Europe.
Yeah, it was a lot of that stuff hadn't come out to the States yet. So.
Yeah.
And we saw things at that show that we never saw here. I mean, like Sprinter vans with bunk beds in them and more pop-top Sprinters and stuff like that are now kind of becoming more common here. But it was neat. And just the caravans or the trailers, the towable trailers, they make them so different over there.
Well, I guess the space is different. You know, I mean, you can have a F-Teen 5000 pulling a fifth wheel in the United States, and it's just not really that big of a deal, but you would never...
That'd be terrible in Europe.
That would be a nightmare.
I sometimes have dreams of taking the Earth Roamer to Europe because I'd like to do Nordkap and all that kind of stuff. And I think, you know, Scandinavia would be okay.
Yeah.
But then I'm going to be like, oh, there's this little place that makes cheese in France. And then I'm going to like, you know, there's going to be a headline that's like, you know, American man destroys 2,000-year-old arch with extreme RV on the you know, some news headline.
It could happen.
Yeah.
Well, we always joked in France that it was the land of one-lane roads with two-way traffic.
Yeah.
And so you just would kind of hold your breath and hope everything got skinny enough to pass on this narrow, tiny mountain road. And somehow it magically worked. But, you know, even in the Sprinter, it was tight.
The tunnels in the Alps, there's a lot of curving tunnels. You can't see through them. You can't see if traffic's coming, and they're really narrow. And I don't know how we kept both of our mirrors on our Sprinter van, because there was times when I was like, I'm sure it's going to hit something, and it didn't.
Sprinters are, I mean, in perspective, they look narrow, but they're not really that narrow. I mean, they're still probably like the width of an F-150, right?
Yeah.
I think it might be a little narrower. Our daughter just got an F-150.
Okay,
and I feel like that it's a touch, the F-150 is a touch wider.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. I'm trying to give people like a little bit of a, so it's a little skinnier than an F-150, but.
It is because it tips in at the top.
Oh,
you know? So if it was straight up and down, it would probably be the same, but where your mirrors are tips in.
I guess the cool thing with the Sprinter is like there's kind of always a way to get where you want to go with a Sprinter, because if something can be delivered somewhere,
that's it.
It gets delivered in a Sprinter. Like
they're made to get you into those places to deliver goods, into alleys, into loading docks, into tight cities.
Yeah.
And you know, they're German, they're European, so they're kind of made with that stuff in mind.
Yeah. We need to do more Sprinter stuff on this podcast.
Yeah, I'd agree.
It's pretty amazing. And there are parts everywhere because they deliver things all around the world. And so it's a great platform.
I've been a little Sprinter elitist in the past. Like I on the back of the Earth Roamer, I have one less Sprinter.
That's funny.
Which, I mean...
I want to put one of those in my daughter's truck.
Yeah.
Because
you put one on your Sprinter.
She used to have a Sprinter.
Yeah. Yeah, they're just like... They're the right size, you know?
They are.
What I have right now is like so big. And
it's great in certain situations.
It's great. It's great for like North America, but you know, I think really what we're talking about in this podcast is we're gonna talk about the Revel and Sprinters and stuff, but we're really always bringing it back to travel. So let's start with your Pan Am trip.
Perfect.
So like, I was like, well, where'd you start? But I'm like, well, you've been living in a car for 11 years, so it's not like you're like starting.
That's a really good question.
Where didn't we start?
You didn't really start. You just kind of.
When we calculated our mileage on the Pan Am, we're like, well, where did it start? Because it's not like we left home. And so we used our favorite place as Buena Vista, Colorado. And we did start our drive north up to Alaska from there. So that's where we started our mileage.
And when did you start?
So it was on our anniversary, June 30th, 2023. I don't know which anniversary, maybe our 21st or second anniversary.
One of them.
20-something. One of many.
Yeah.
So we started there in Buena Vista, and then we headed up to Alaska. And, you know, we debated which was going to be our northernmost point. Dempster, Dalton, where do we want to have our high point? And so we couldn't decide, so we did them both.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
So let's go back to like the journey up north. Did you guys do the Alcan? Did you do?
So we'd already been to Alaska before.
Yeah.
But we hadn't driven the Cassiar.
Oh yeah. So I did the Cassiar.
So we wanted to go that way.
Yeah. Hyder and Stewart are just like little gems.
Yeah.
Amazing.
The Salmon Glacier.
Yeah. Super cool.
We loved that.
I had a window fly off of our camper at the Salmon Glacier.
Whoa.
Oh wait, is the Salmon Glacier the one that you drive up?
Yeah, you're above.
No, there's one that you drive on the way to Hyder and Stewart. And I was wetting my tire on the side of the road, and I look up, and there was no window
Oh no,
And it was like bug apocalypse.
full of mosquitoes.
It was
Yeah.
like I don't even know where to go with how many bugs there were. Like, it was absolutely insane. You've obviously been there, absolutely mental. And I'm like in the most comfortable thing in the world
Yeah.
on this trip. And then there's like, Japanese tourists bike packing the Cassiar Highway, and I'm just like, I'm like,
How do you
I'm
do
bowing
this?
to them like, oh my God, like I need to toughen up here. I need to be a tough boy. But that whole area is just like,
It's magical.
spectacular.
I mean,
Well, so we got up there, and then we were looking at the map, and we didn't want to just drive around to the Dempster, and so we discovered the Canal Road.
oh
Are
yeah,
you
yeah, the
familiar?
South Canal Road. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. How
That-
was that in a sprinter?
It was perfect.
Fabulous.
It was
The
really
South
great.
Road is supposed to be pretty good. It was closed for a wildfire. We had intended to take that.
Okay.
Because that shoots you out on the Campbell Highway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was kind of a shortcut.
I think it was one of our highlights, though.
We might have liked it better than the two main ones. It
Yeah.
was great. We could go back up there and spend another week or two just poking around there.
The struggle that I had is we did our trip up there in 22, and everything had just opened, but it had 2 seasons of not being used. And you know how like that, I mean, life is just voracious up there for its life cycle of, a couple months, and then it all freezes. So like all of the little like roadside pullouts and stuff, they were all still like overgrown. Like they hadn't really been maintained in a couple of years. So it was fascinating to try and find camping along the main road. And then we also left at just like the wrong time. Like it hadn't been open for 2 years, and we were like, let's get up there. It was fun. It wasn't fun.
I remember you talking about that. I've heard you on some episodes.
The Canal Road, I'm bummed. Like I want to do that trip again. It's not. There's like the North Canal Road that goes to, where does that terminate?
It just ends at a river up there. That
Yeah, it ends at the
bridge-
Mackenzie across.
The bridge
Yeah,
was out, and
yeah. North Canal, you wouldn't take a sprinter or camper or anything on. You can go a little bit.
I'd try it for a while and see how
Yeah.
far I felt comfortable.
You can go like 100 miles in or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's far enough to make it worth it.
Yeah. Did you guys do that too?
We didn't go on the north side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. So then you did Campbell, and you ended up in like Dawson City.
Yeah, we didn't actually go to Dawson until we were done with the Dempster and Tuck.
Yeah.
But then we went across and kept going to the
Top of the
further.
world, and then
Yeah.
Anchorage or Fairbanks, and
Yeah.
then that whole thing. And then didn't you guys have like an axle problem in?
So we had a great trip up to Tuck. It was like awesome.
Tuck's great. Eagle Plains.
Yeah.
Reserve a night and get drunk with truckers at Eagle Plains. Like that is like one of the best experiences.
Wow.
I think. But I don't know.
That went really smooth. It was really beautiful. We really just loved the trip. Tuck was such a great climax to the ending, and you're at the Arctic Ocean.
Yeah.
And we went swimming in the Arctic Ocean, and we had our 19-year-old lab with us. And so we got to put his paws in the Arctic Ocean.
Yeah.
He's a 49 state dog and had been Mexico and Canada and all over. So he,
19, man, that's
yeah.
Yeah.
And then we made it back down and across the $1 Million and over to Fairbanks.
amazing.
And we had to put him down there.
He
Oh,
got really
buddy.
sick
got
on
really
the journey down. So
And so that was incredibly hard. That was one of the worst days and weeks. And then
Yeah.
we were like, well, okay, we're here. We've got this mission. We want to get up to Prudhoe, and we started up there, and it was hard, and it was smoky, and we had a lot of challenges. But we got over the Brooks Range, and it was beautiful. We had a couple of really great camps. We were starting to feel better. We rolled into Prudhoe, into Dead Horse, and we stopped in town at the first kind of sign. There's a little sign there that says like "Welcome to Dead Horse" or something.
Yeah.
I jumped out, took a couple pictures, filmed a little video, jumped back in, fired up the Revel, put it in gear, and it went rah, 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 rah. So it's making this grinding sound. I'm like, oh no.
oh no, we couldn't move. It didn't budge.
It wouldn't
Just
go anywhere.
like-
It's just spinning and making this grinding sound. And so we jump out. Kathy jumps in the driver's seat. I jump underneath. I'm like, okay, put it in drive. And I can see the drive shaft spinning. But I thought for sure my diff was blown up. I was like, we've lost everything in the diff or something. You know, it's just grinding in there. So
We were 500 miles from Fairbanks, and there's nothing in between, really.
Yeah, that's like
it's a bad spot.
It was a bad day.
Losing the pup, and then that's like that sucks, man.
It sucked. It was bad.
That really sucks.
So then we dug around, and we're like on the side of the road, kind of halfway off this road and halfway on it. There's trucks going by, and they're looking at us like, "Why are you guys parked there?" And we're like, "Well, we just jumping out really quick." And then some guys came over and they towed us back into this little parking lot of an oil company that was there. Little muddy dirt lot. And I called some friends, and luckily I'm good friends with John at Agile Off-Road.
Yeah, John's awesome.
Yeah. And another guy, Paul, who's a Mercedes-Benz tech. And I got those two guys, and I told them kind of what's going on.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Yeah, it sounds like it could be your diff." And I was like, ah. So then we got on the phone, and we started calling. You know, this is like an industrial complex.
Yeah,
up there.
it's there. It's a work camp.
It's the oil producing, and there's tons of resources there.
Engineers, mechanics, shops.
Yeah.
But
Everything.
it's all for big industrial equipment, not especially not a Mercedes Sprinter.
Yeah.
So we started calling these shops, and we're like, "Can you guys help us with this? You know, it should be pretty easy from what you guys are used to working on, and maybe we'll have to get parts up here somehow, but can you help us?" And they were all just like laughed, and they were like, "Oh no, we don't work on those things." And
they were like, "Why are you up here?"
Yeah. They're like, "This is This isn't a tourism zone. You know, why are you guys even coming up here in the first place?"
Yeah.
So we got a lot of that. Well, then anyway, we started poking around, and I was like, I just want to see what's going on in the diff. So I removed the diff cover, I drained the oil, removed the diff cover, and actually some of the guys helped us with that, because if you get a drop of oil on the ground up there,
they take it really seriously.
FEMA's like all over them, or not FEMA, the EPA and those people. And so these guys,
is a good thing.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. I'm totally a fan of that. But these oil guys came out, and they brought us this whole oil capture kit, which was an oil pan, which was like the basic thing that I don't normally travel with, is carrying a big oil pan. But then they gave us all these foam blankets that you put down, and then plastic bags for it all to go into. And so we didn't get a single drop of oil on the ground, which was great. And but then I pulled the cover off, and we started looking at it, and I was like, it looks perfect. Like, I don't see any metal. It looks awesome.
It's kind of best case scenario.
Yeah, because the diff's a challenge.
Yeah, it's a big thing. So then I got back to John and Paul, and they're like, it must be your axle.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, is that better or worse? And they're like, I think that's great. John was like, that is the best thing that's the best news you can get, because you can change an axle right there on the side of the road.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. So
it was the axle shaft that snapped?
The axle sheared, the wheel bearings, I think, went, and then it caused the whole thing to separate, and then it stripped out the splines on the end of the axle, and then it caused it to spin.
Gotcha.
And it was just slipping when it was in drive. It was like, and it just spinning.
Yeah, because I guess it's like there's no limited slip or whatever.
That's
so
it.
If you had John from Agile's ARB diff locker, you could have moved.
That was the first time we kicked ourselves for not having that.
John was very quick to remind us of that.
John, that just cost you a 6-pack.
So anyway, we did a little it was Friday night, and all the Mercedes dealers had closed at that point. So we had to just sit there on the side of the road over the weekend. Monday morning, I got on the phone, started calling all over the U.S., trying to find an axle. I found a few, but then luckily the guy in Anchorage, there's a Mercedes-Benz shop in Anchorage. He's like, yeah, we've got 2 of them. I was like, okay, I need one. Now the next hurdle is, can you put it on a flight to Dead Horse? And he's like, I don't know, I've never done that, but I'm willing to try. And I was like, awesome. Thank you so much, because we are totally at your mercy. And this guy, he did it. About an hour later, he gave me a call. He's like, yep, I dropped it off at the airport. It should be on the flight tomorrow morning. And
that's the cool thing about Alaska, is it's kind of still like, I don't know, a bit.
People know how to get stuff done in Alaska.
Yeah. It's just okay, let's just do this.
I admire Alaskans a lot.
Yeah.
So
really
they
nice
always
people.
Figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
And so the next morning we woke up with both of us having COVID.
No, it gets better.
Yeah. So we both.
So
had
now
COVID.
we're, RIP pup, RIP Axel, COVID positive.
And we're sick.
We're
I mean,
sick.
really sick.
High fever, coughing, feeling terrible.
And I'm sure that in the industrial camp, they love that.
Yeah, well, I think we got it from the industrial camp.
Yeah.
Because all those guys, they fly in and work 2-week shifts. And
Yeah, but that's...
so we were, the weekend while we were waiting to get the axle figured out, we were eating at the little restaurants and stuff there, the little...
little mess
what was it
halls.
called? The Aurora. I think it was the Aurora Hotel.
Yeah.
They have a little buffet and stuff. And so I think we might have picked it up there. Because we were pretty much just the two of us before then, so I don't know where we would have gotten it. Up in... But anyway, next morning, get out of the van. I'm excited. I know the axle's waiting for me at the airport. I go to take a shortcut to the airport.
Yeah.
And I find bear prints that are fresh, that are like as big as my head. And then the guys all along have been warning us, like, don't walk around town without a gun, without bear spray.
Yeah.
People don't do that here. And we're like, well, we don't have a vehicle.
Are they...
We wanna go
What type of bears are like in...
brown bears,
Grizzly bears.
and polar bears.
Oh, those are fun.
Yeah. Which I would love to. I love seeing bears, but I don't know that I love them when I'm on foot, and I don't have any way to.
I don't want to
myself.
go anywhere near polar bears.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd like to look at them from a distance from some binoculars, but man, those things are...
Yeah, you're on the menu.
You're on the menu.
Yeah.
And you're not... Yeah. You're on the menu.
Yeah.
That's how you say it.
So I saw the tracks and I was like, oh gosh, what else is going to happen? And so I turned around, and luckily I never saw the bear, but I took the long way to the airport. I got there, the axle's waiting for me. I threw it in my backpack, hoofed it back, and light rain, sprinkles started falling. And I'm like, looked at the forecast, and it looked like it was going to get worse for the next couple of days. So I was
Turned
like,
into snow.
no. But I was like, we're going to do this. We're going to change this axle right here, right now. I've never done it before.
What side was it on?
On the passenger side.
Okay.
So yeah, we jacked it up, and I watched, I had some help with John and Paul. They told me the basics, and then I found a few YouTube videos.
Was this Did you have Starlink at this point?
We
up
did.
There?
We
Okay.
We did.
Yeah, when we went, Starlink wasn't active up there, which was kind of cool to be living in a world of edge internet. Maybe.
I was so grateful for Starlink that day. And so, yeah, it took us, 3/4 of the day when we changed an axle on the side of the road, learned how to do that.
So is the axle on that, is it like a full floating rear axle where you have the bolts on the outside, or does it have kind of a unit bearing attached to it?
It's all one big piece.
Okay.
And there's 4 bolts on the inside.
Okay, so that's the wheel bearing too then.
Yeah. You take off the brakes and all that, and then you undo these 4 bolts, and this whole thing with the bearings and the axle assembly slide out.
So you think it was the wheel bearing that gave the ghost?
Yeah. The wheel bearing was pretty torn up too. So
On the vans, expedition trucks, whatever, people don't realize that they're vulnerable because they're always running with at or near the max weight. If you've got a 10-pound bag, you put 10 pounds of stuff in it. You've got 3,000 pounds of payload. Usually
4,000.
Yeah, exactly. So
we try not to, but
yeah, that's the dirty little secret on the Earth roamers is that the wheel bearings love to.
oh, do they?
Go kaput. So you got to replace them. Earth roamers taking care of it, but it's an interesting thing. It's usually the oil will go a little bit low because people will service it, the dealers will service it. They put the oil in, but this oil is like molasses, and then it's splash lubricated at the end. So it's it's at the fill point, when you fill it, but then it takes 10 or 15 minutes to drain out into the axle tube. So then it ends up low.
Oh, yeah.
It's a big thing. So I check that on all my trucks now.
That's smart.
Yeah.
Yeah. I pay attention to
I
axle.
see the cogs turning oh, I should do that one.
Yeah.
So, but you get it done. You get her done.
We get it done.
Yeah.
And then we get to start the Pan American. That was all that happened the week that we were about to start our journey.
That was the approach to the Pan American.
This is so you consider you're there's Buena Vista, but then there's the drive south.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you start it. You get all the bad. It sounds like you get all the bad stuff.
Well,
That's what we wanted to do. We wanted to just take care of all the bad stuff in 1 week.
Yeah.
And then it was smooth sailing from there. Oof. We thought.
Yeah, we were like, oh man, if this is how the Pan Am's going to be,
Yeah.
I don't know if we want to. I don't know if this is our thing, but It did. It got a lot better.
What did you think of the start?
Well,
Are you like a positive person? Are you like a...
I'm definitely a positive person.
Oh, that's nice.
And I think we can figure out anything. Like,
Okay,
together,
that's a good...
We have opposing strengths and
Yeah.
weaknesses, and so we kind of fill in the gaps. And so, you know, we've been through a lot of huge adventures together.
Yeah.
In our almost 30 years of being together. And so, you know, we can figure it out and we can do a lot together. And this was just one of those things. You got to just dive in, get it done. And I always look at adversity as an opportunity to grow. If you look at it in that perspective, I
Yeah.
was like, you know, we changed an axle on the side of the road in the snow with a grizzly bear around us. You know, if we can get through that, we can get through anything.
Yeah, this isn't that bad.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
And
I mean...
it really did prove to give us the confidence that we needed later in the trip. Not only mechanically, but just as far as looking at the places on the map that maybe we were a little nervous to go through.
Yeah.
And we're like,
Well, the worst has already happened in the most remote place you can go.
yeah, I mean, we're like, you know, we'll figure it out. It's going to be fine.
Yeah. So then you start your drive south.
Yes. And since we had already done all the interior roads in Alaska, we were like, let's take the ferry south.
Which is supposed to be... I haven't done it, but
So good.
I think that's like the money way of doing
It's
it.
so nice.
Absolutely. And we did a detour out to Kodiak Island,
Oh, I remember watching you guys do that.
which was phenomenal. We were there in September and the bears were feeding on salmon. And we just watched giant bears feeding for a week.
They're right there, and they don't care about you. They're fat and happy off salmon, and it's just the funnest thing to watch.
On my trip, I didn't see a squirrel. I didn't see a raccoon. I didn't see a caribou. I didn't see a deer. I saw maybe the backside of a bear, or it could have just been a dying bush. But I did have one moose, one solitary, scraggly looking moose on the Dempster come out. So I've got it. The moose backed me up.
You got it.
The one moose was my 60 days of wildlife viewing.
You got to see a moose in the north,
Yeah.
so that's good.
The moose always show up, I guess.
We even saw muskox while we were up there. And I didn't know they were there, but it was pretty cool to see.
Yeah, they were all on holiday when I was there. So,
You went early, didn't you? Was it?
I mean, I was
June?
there like 4th of July.
Oh yeah.
Like I was in Whitehorse for like Canada Day, which I do not recommend ever. Yeah, go later is
Yes.
like the thing. But when you're doing the Pan Am, you kind of have a bit of a weather window. Like the Europeans kind of figured out where they ship like end of April, early May. They work their way up to Alaska through Canada. Like, they'll go into Halifax usually because I think there's like a time you can spend in the U.S.
Yeah.
And they work their way through the U.S. They all cross around Thanksgiving and Christmas into Mexico and go down, which is kind of, I guess, what you guys did. You crossed.
Yeah.
It is. We crossed in January of 24 down into Baja.
And how did you feel about that timing?
I think we hit everything.
Everything
perfectly.
good?
Yeah, we missed the rainy season. It was hot, but it wasn't as
See,
humid.
when we
as
were
it could have
chatting,
been.
like that was what you were kind of always saying is like, it's so hot.
Central
Central
Amer-
America is raging hot,
Yeah.
and I'm not a fan of the heat. Really, I'm like happy in Colorado. with
Well, like
70
when you're
degrees.
nomadic, you can just kind of go to the nice places.
That's been always our thing. If it's too hot, we go north. If it's too cold, we go
Like
south.
we're here at the big thing in Three Forks, Montana, and it was 90 degrees yesterday, and it was cooler in Arizona, where we're from. Great. I've been living in a heat wave for the last several years. Every trip, heat wave. It was like 98 degrees in Tuktoyaktuk when I was there.
Really?
I'm not kidding. I have photos.
That's amazing. That's kind of
dumb.
sad
Yeah.
that it gets that hot.
Yeah. I went home and bought a Tesla and power batteries and decarbonized my house.
Good.
You know, mess up that planet with lithium mining instead.
I wish we could do that.
So, talk to me about Mexico. So, you guys went down Baja, or did you go down?
Yeah, we went down Baja, and we'd been to Baja the winter before.
Yeah.
And did a really great tour through there.
So, did you kind of cruise through, or?
We went back to our favorite places. So
Walk
my
me through
favorite
that.
part.
What's your favorite part?
Yeah, my favorite part of Baja is kind of the central section on the Sea of Cortez.
Oh, yeah.
So all along the coast there's so many amazing dirt roads to go down and explore
Yeah.
to get to the coast.
Agua
and,
Verde and like,
yeah.
I mean, I like Loreto. Loreto is like one of my favorite little towns in Baja.
It is. It's cool. We got a favorite taco shop there.
Yeah. I mean, our goal is kind of to eat tacos and swim every day.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'm terrified of water, but you know, tacos are great.
Yeah.
Tacos are great.
If you can swim to tacos, that's even better.
You know what? I do make exceptions for swim at pool bars.
There you go.
That should be a bumper sticker. Tacos are great.
Yeah.
It's true. So then we spent about 3 weeks in Baja.
Okay.
And then we took the truckers ferry across to Mazatlan.
Oh, okay.
And so the truckers ferry is like 18-hour ferry. It's how they transport goods to and from mainland to Baja. And you get to sleep in your vehicle. They feed you dinner and breakfast.
Oh, really?
And then you get off in Mazatlan and keep trucking.
See, I didn't know that you could sleep in your vehicle and then because what's the other ferry that goes from La Paz? It goes to Topolobampo.
Yeah.
Something
yeah,
like that.
That's the other one.
Yeah.
And it's
yeah.
different. You have to have a cabin on that one. But the truckers ferry is a little bit less expensive.
I don't know if I would trust the cabin.
Yeah.
I'd rather have my own
It was nice.
cabin, so to speak.
The only downside is a lot of the trucks are refrigerated, so they leave them idling.
Oh.
And so you can get a lot of diesel exhaust.
Yeah.
It worked out good for us because where we ended up being loaded onto the ferry, we were kind of in the front, and they put those idling trucks. They tried to get them more towards the back.
Oh, that's considerate.
Yeah. It doesn't, we talked to other people, and it didn't always work out that way, but
Yeah.
it was fine for us. And we met a lot of really cool other travelers some were just going to Central America, and then some were doing the whole Pan Am, and people that we stay in touch with today, you know?
Yeah.
And that's-
Yeah, the travel community is just so great.
It is.
Great.
But that's an interesting little fact is the truckers ferry, you can stay in the car. So if you do have a van or, you know, camper truck or whatever, like that's kind of, 18 hours. What time does it leave at night?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
leaves at night. You have you get to see the sunset while you're out in
Yeah.
the Sea of Cortez, and then, you wake up the next morning, have breakfast, and then it's almost time to go.
Yeah.
You know, and you're kind of, not to sound weird, but you're kind of, Sinaloa has some interesting spots that you kind of have to go through,
Right.
and you're past some of that.
Right. And
Mexico's great, but like there are like level 4 do not travel warnings for the State Department in Sinaloa.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's
And so
kind
you
of a
just
hot
want to
spot.
stay on the toll roads, get through those, and
Yeah.
then get to the good stuff.
So you get into Mazatlan. Did you guys spend any time there?
We didn't.
Yeah, just kind of cruise south.
Yeah, there were some travel warnings there, and we were
Yeah.
like, we're just gonna.
It's
keep
always
moving.
changing in that area. It seems like, you talk to like some travelers like, oh yeah, I had a great time. And I'm like, well, what was going on? Nothing. Like, okay, well, luck of the draw, I guess. But so you guys then went through Mexico. Did you go kind of like towards the Yucatan?
Well, we went straight down south and found some beaches to camp on.
Okay.
And that was really good. And then from there, we cut back to the east and ended up Guanajuato.
Okay.
We
yeah.
went through Tecate, or
Yeah.
Tequila.
Tequila.
Oh, see, I
and-
want to do tequila.
It was
I
great.
like
Tequila was
tequila.
cool.
Yes.
Oh, you'd love this place.
You
Yeah.
would love this place.
Yeah.
And that's where we discovered the Pueblo Magicos. And so those are like the little tourist towns that, Mexico has deemed culturally or, something interesting is there.
I've heard about this.
Yeah.
So they're kind of a little more boutique-y, artsy,
They have something of interest, and
Yeah.
and they're like the tourist towns that.
Okay.
And we found everyone that we went to was really special.
What was your favorite one?
Oh my gosh. It's interesting. We were kind of by Guanajuato, and we had just pulled into a soccer field for the night to camp. We found it on iOverlander.
Yeah.
And we pulled off for the night, and as we were sitting there eating our dinner, we were in our friend George's van, and it was dark, and pretty soon we see this truck coming down the path towards us, no lights on. We're like, oh, that looks a little weird. And then we see that there are people walking beside the truck coming down towards our vans, and we're like, oh no, this is really bad.
Heck.
And then we see that they're armed, and we're like, oh, what do we do? So we turned out the lights in the van so that they couldn't see us. But, we'd
They
had
already
them
knew
on.
we were there.
10-foot tall van with kayaks on top.
And we're debating what we're going to do. And finally I was like, oh my gosh, I'm just going to go talk to these guys because they know we're in here. What are we going to do? So I jump out of the van and I go talk to them. And my Spanish is like 2-year-old Spanish. I have a
Okay.
very limited vocabulary. And so through...
I have 7-month-old in the womb Spanish.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tricky, especially when you're a little scared.
My Spanish hasn't been born yet.
It's coming.
Yeah.
You're about to learn.
I'm about to learn.
Yeah.
So I jump out, and through pantomime and Google Translate, we figured
Well, it was the police.
it was the police. So as they get close to us, they turn on the red and blue lights.
Oh, okay.
That's when I jump out of the van, and I go talk to them. And through pantomime and Google Translate, we figure out that we're just in a really bad area. And they're like, "You guys need to follow us. We'll get you to safety."
Oh.
And we're like, huh. We didn't know if that was better or worse, because you hear so many stories.
Hopefully you left that review for the campsite on iOverlander.
Absolutely.
We did, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so
If you can still do that on iOverlander, because the new app is so horrible.
we were still on the old version.
I think they're like blocking people out of iOverlander 1.
Oh, yeah, we're
Yeah.
locked out now,
We're
but
locked.
this was a couple of years ago, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, we share our location with a friend, and we're like, keep an eye on us. We're following the police somewhere. And they end up leading us to this beautiful little town that is famous for their cheese.
Oh.
And
Love
we
cheese.
follow them. They bring us all the way into this town. It turns out to be a Pueblo Magico. And they park us right in front of the police station. And they're like, you guys will be fine here. That was a bad area. We've got your back here.
Oh.
So we sleep in the middle of this town. There's families out walking the streets. It's beautiful. We have a great night's sleep. We wake up the next morning, and the police are outside watching our YouTube channel. And they're laughing, and they're like, oh my gosh, you guys have come all the way from Alaska.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's just this really great experience that led us to this amazing little town that we would have never been to any other way.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably my favorite.
So
Pueblo Magico.
sometimes when a blacked out armed convoy comes to you, it can be a good thing in
It
Mexico.
turned out to be a good thing.
Yeah, it worked out. It always works out.
They
for
brought
us,
the
it
cavalry to come get you. Oh man. So then you guys kind of work your way towards Belize, right?
seems. Yeah.
And it
down-
gets like hot and sticky in Belize.
Yeah, down through the Yucatan, cross into Belize. And Belize was beautiful. It's everything that you
Yeah.
think of as Belize.
Went
Beaches and blue
snorkeling
water.
on the barrier reef, and it was amazing.
But like 100 degrees at night, kind of hot.
It doesn't really
with
cool down, I
Tons of
guess.
humidity. It's just thick and hot. And we had our air conditioner, which was good.
Because you have like some upgraded batteries in your.
We do. We put in the Roam Rig system, which is an upgrade for the Revel vans that gives us 3 more batteries. So we end up with 650 amp hours,
Okay. At 12 volts.
12 volts.
Okay.
So we can run our AC 9 hours, maybe 10
Do you have like
hours.
the regular, like the. What's the AC it comes with? The Mach
it's the
Air?
yeah, the Coleman Mach.
Yeah. Do you
And
like that one?
It's a little noisy. but
Yeah.
it
Because
doesn't.
Dometic makes these like 12, 24, and 48 volt units now that like. I've been in vans, I'm like, I can barely hear that.
Yeah, I think we've been totally happy with it, but that's the thing. I think if we were to switch out our AC, we'd go for a 12 volt
Yeah.
and look for one that's a little quieter.
A little tremor on the roof, a little quieter.
We could fit more kayaks if it was lower.
Yeah, you could have 9 instead of 8.
I mean, that's a plus.
You're camped kind of near me, and I'm like, oh yeah, there's 18 feet of kayak on top of that tall car.
We
I know
never
who
have a
that
problem
is.
finding ourselves in a parking lot.
So let's kind of like fast forward through Central America. So how was, there's like the C4 block, Guatemala, El Salvador, Nicaragua, and Honduras.
Yeah,
Honduras is always the one that kind of gets people nervous, I guess, right?
yeah.
What was that border crossing? Is the El Almatillo border crossing? Or
I don't remember
I'd
the
have to look
border
back on the
crossing.
map.
But we crossed where there was just a tiny
like
little
the
strip.
100K little stretch?
And
Took
so
us-
we did all of Honduras in a day. So we did the 2 border crossings in a day and just kind of blasted through it.
Yeah.
And that's what all the other travelers that were coming northbound were kind of recommending. And so, yeah, I think we were in Honduras for 4 or 5 hours, and
So it took you it was that quick.
It was that
Yeah,
quick.
it was fast.
It's a little bit of a shame because there's so much in Honduras. Like there's Copan, there's all these ruins. It's not super safe, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
It was beautiful, but it was one of the poorest places that we went through, and we found that the poor places weren't always the unsafe places.
Yeah.
But you did see a lot of people who were kind of struggling and
Yeah.
in bad conditions.
yeah. I mean, do you feel that like the Revel? I mean, the problem is you guys have these big orange kayaks on the roof. So I'm like, oh, the Sprinter's a little more inconspicuous.
Yeah. That's a question we get all the time.
Yeah.
And it was something we were really worried about as we were going in. And, we traveled back roads through a big majority of our trip. And when we come into a town, everybody in town knows each other. So anybody coming from out of town sticks out like a sore thumb.
Yeah. That's
And
a fair
so
point.
you may as well embrace it and bring what you want. I don't think it really makes that much difference because, in some places we were a foot and a half taller than everybody else in the village. And, I have lighter hair and Peter has light eyes. And so everything about us screamed foreigner.
Yeah.
And so I don't really think it's something to worry about. You are conspicuous when you're traveling.
So my pinkish Swedish skin is gonna give me away.
Yes.
Yeah, you should go to get some plastic surgery and some
Spray paint myself.
spray painting, and yeah, it's
I think
really,
that's considered a bad thing. I think.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
not worth it. And we found it wasn't a problem at all. In fact, it allowed us to meet people.
Yeah.
They wanted to come up and like, where are you guys from? And
Yeah. What is this?
you guys
What is
drive
this
here?
thing?
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
It gave us opportunities that I don't think we would have had if we blended in. So
And it gives us an opportunity to just be a good human and a good guest and a good visitor and to make friends wherever we go and just talk to people.
Yeah. And then, so you get to Panama, and then, do you guys row or did you do a container?
row.
We're too
Row.
tall for a container. So
Yeah. Oh,
row-row
yeah.
is
Duh. Yeah. Sorry, I'm thinking the flat rack stuff.
Yeah.
So you guys, you do the row, and if I remember, there's no problems, and you had no problems the way
no.
back either.
There was a big problem.
Oh, there's a big problem.
Yeah, so a ro-ro ship had sunk about 6 months or a year before because of a lithium battery fire.
Oh, yeah. This is a big thing.
Yeah, and so the shipping companies after that just said, no lithium, period. We're not taking it.
Yeah, and you have to ship them separately.
Yeah, and so you can choose to ship it in a container, which can cause like a month or more delay because you're coordinating ro-ro and
Yeah.
container. And you can't fly with them. You can't ship them really. It's super expensive. And so we called around and we ended up putting them on a sailboat with us. We sailed through the Sandblast Islands. We brought
What was the name of the sailboat?
Oh gosh.
It
we
used
went,
to be the Stallrot, and then that sunk, and now there's the Stallrot.
So this was
too.
through an agency called Blue Sailing.
Yeah.
And they had maybe a dozen different sailboats.
Oh, wow. Okay.
yeah,
So you went from Cologne to Turbo or Cartagena?
Cartagena.
Very
Yeah.
cool. And you just took your batteries with you.
We did. We
BYO
took
batteries.
250 pounds of batteries with us.
Yeah, we got a hold of the sailing company and we said, hey, we've got kind of a weird request. Can two of us go across on the sailboat and can we bring some batteries with us? And they're like, oh, what batteries? So we told them, and then they're like, well, we have to talk to the captain. So then a day later, they got a message back from the captain, and he's like, sure. And we're like, are there any extra charges or anything? They're like, no, just bring it on as cargo, as luggage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when we got on board, they stuffed them under one of the dinettes. It kind of does like an RV does, and the cushion pops up, and there's
Yeah.
a little hole in there, and they just stacked them all in there, and
No problem.
and they were great.
And I should note that since then, batteries are easier to travel with. So when we came home
Yeah.
from this trip, we didn't have to worry about it. We could leave them in the van. We were just at the pinnacle of panic with
Yeah,
the
because
shipping
that
companies.
ship went down with all the Porsches and Bentleys and
Exactly.
Porsche Taycans. And,
Yeah,
yeah, geez,
gets
that would've been
expensive quick.
Yeah, I heard Europe, you can do row from U.S. to Europe now. Because, I mean, some of these vehicles, like the batteries are so integrated. Like, I couldn't imagine taking them out of my camper. Like, it would be, like, such a pain.
Yeah.
It was a pain for us, and ours are fairly accessible, but
Yeah.
So you get into Colombia. Mm-hmm. Colombia is like one of these places that I just don't really know much about.
It's pretty neat.
Like,
it's
everybody
beautiful.
says that that's like the highlight. Like, they kind of expect Patagonia to be great.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of great. But then Colombia is the one that always like impresses people.
It's beautiful, and it's such a contrast to Central America where we'd been. And the culture there is amazing. The food's amazing. The mountains are phenomenal.
It was great to
we
get up
loved it.
in. It was great to get up into the mountains because we'd been in Central now for 4.5 months, and it had been so hot. And finally, you get up in the mountains in Colombia, and it cools off. And we were like, "Wow, this is nice."
It's pretty diverse, right? Like you can get pretty high. Like the cities are really high there.
Yeah.
So, like, what was your route through Colombia?
Well, we worked our way from Cartagena down to Medellin, and then so we kind of stayed in the central.
Yeah, there's
Western
kind of like
side.
that corridor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We bopped around, and then I don't know. We just kind of we do a lot of following our nose. We usually don't have a hardcore schedule or a path.
That's nice. I mean, that's the way to do it if you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
We were on a bit of a time crunch because we were meeting our daughter in Ecuador. And so we had kind of a limited window.
Yeah, didn't you guys go and
Colombia.
paddle in Ecuador?
We
we
did.
did.
So talk about that. What was going on?
So Ecuador is a hot spot for kayaking, whitewater kayaking,
Okay.
and we knew that. We had a bunch of friends who'd been down there paddling. So we're driving through. We're like, yeah, we're gonna spend some time
It's
kayaking.
supposed to be like crazy, like super underrated country.
Yeah, we were blown
loved
away
Ecuador.
across the board. We thought Ecuador was great.
Yeah.
I think it might have been Kathy's favorite.
It was
country.
my favorite. And we went out to the Galapagos Islands.
Oh, I remember that.
And that was just, I mean, that's probably the favorite thing I've ever done in my life. You know, we swam with a humpback whale. We swam with sea lions and penguins.
I
And
mean, the Galapagos are just so remote, right? Like, how
So
long does it take to get there?
so we flew. We
Okay.
flew to the islands, you know, a few hours to get there. And then we spent 5 days on a small ship that had about 20 people on it.
Oh, okay.
And so we were on the Western Islands. And so it was swimming every day and touring on the islands and just really small groups and really taking in the wildlife. And the neat thing about the Galapagos is they've been so protected for so long that it's the only place on earth where animals aren't afraid of people. So you can get really close to them and they don't react at all.
Yeah, they don't have like centuries of the programming that this person's going to kill me.
Yeah.
Exactly. And
Fascinating.
so it was just this magical experience. And our daughter Abby was there with us and
Cool.
it was amazing. And then kayaking after that.
Yeah.
So Ecuador, then you cross into Peru.
Yes.
Yeah, I've heard northern Peru's a little interesting.
It was wild. It was great.
Yeah, it was great.
I thought so. Yeah.
Because I guess there's like the desert route that's kind of closer to the coast, and then there's like the mountain route that some people will take.
So I guess one thing we should mention, this whole trip from Mexico border, the U.S. down, we were with our friend George. And his name's Jorge the Magnifico when you're south of the border.
Okay.
And so Jorge had done the whole Pan Am on his motorcycle in 2018.
Right on.
And so he's kind of like, yeah.
This is the guy that's in the other Sprinter.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's in another Revel, just like ours.
Okay.
And so the funny part is that he's like, okay, I'm going to go to Baja for sure. And then maybe I'll go to mainland Mexico. And then every time we get to a new country, he's like, okay, I'll go to Belize. Okay, I'll go to Costa Rica. Okay. And then we got to Colombia or Panama, and we're like, George, are you going back north? Or are you going to ship across? I guess I'll ship across.
This is
And
like
so-
accidentally did the entire Pan American Highway.
That's exactly how it went.
We had commitment issues at first.
Yeah.
But then after we got to Colombia, we kept going south.
I love
So-
that.
Yeah.
And it's nice to have somebody to travel with too. Like
It was
there's a little
great.
it's not necessarily always like a safety thing as much as it's just like nice to have some
It's just
friendship.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice to have somebody else to talk to.
yeah.
Yeah. So George had done it before, and so we did take the mountain route through Peru. For me, Peru was the hardest because I broke my foot the second or third day that we were there, and
Heck.
it was a struggle to find medical care, even to just find an X-ray machine, and the doctors didn't diagnose it as broken. They were like, "Fine, walk it off. You'll be okay." And
And then there's the language barrier with your second grade Spanish.
exactly. Yeah, medical terms weren't really in my vocabulary. So, I saw most of Peru from the van because
Yeah.
it took us 3 weeks to find crutches. So that was
Dang.
that was
I
difficult.
went to a lot of pharmacies looking for a walking boot or even an ankle
Could have
brace.
used the old axle shaft.
Yeah.
He came back with cast material, and I was like, you cannot put that on my foot.
I was like, we'll just cast it. What else can we do?
Yeah.
Oh man, Peru seems tough. Like I've talked to quite a few people about overlanding in my days, and they all say like Peru is the one that like the random bad things like had a pretty high potential of happening. But I don't know.
I loved Peru. I think if you asked George, I don't know that Peru was in his top 5 even,
Yeah.
but I loved how wild it was. I loved the driving through the mountains. We did the 3 in and 3 south route,
Okay.
Highway 3, and it took you through places that you just couldn't believe. This is the way you would cross a country
Yeah.
through these canyons and crazy cliffside, roads and weird little tunnels, and I was just enamored by it. And then when you got to the Cordillera Blanca and you see those huge mountains,
Yeah, it's big.
it's awesome.
But sounds like a sucky place to have a broken foot.
It was not the place to break your
No.
foot.
Yeah.
Yeah, the U.S. is much preferable if you're going to break something.
Did you guys do like the medical insurance thing?
It was $12 to see the doctor and get an X-ray, so it was all good as far as that went.
I mean, once you found it.
Right.
Yeah.
They didn't actually catch that it was fractured, so
You
I
get
mean,
what you
maybe
pay
you get
for.
what you pay for, but and I ended up having an MRI later on in Ecuador or Argentina.
Okay.
And
How much was that?
It was $100.
$100 for an MRI?
Yeah. So,
Dang.
it's affordable. Medical care is affordable if you can find it there.
Yeah, and it took us like 3 days, and we had it scheduled, and she walked right in, and she got the results right
so
back.
cool.
It was easy.
So into Bolivia?
Yeah, Bolivia was a big adventure.
Yeah,
That was,
Bolivia can be like a little unstable sometimes. Like it's great, but
Yeah, there were fuel shortages that we heard about when we were in Peru. And so it was really important for us to minimize the miles that we traveled through Bolivia.
yeah.
So we didn't want to take those resources away from the locals that need them. And so we
And
kind
they
of
have kind of the 2-price system for gas, right?
exactly.
Yeah.
There's a local price, and that was like $2 a gallon. And then there's the tourist price that was about $8 a gallon.
Wow.
And so, but they didn't always, there was a lot of paperwork involved in selling to tourists. And so some gas stations were like, we're just not going to deal with it. Some gas stations were like, bring us a gas can and we'll fill it up and give you the $2 price. And so there was just a lot of ambiguity about how it all worked.
And you have like the auxiliary fuel tank, right?
We do. We crossed from Peru totally on full, both tanks.
Is that the agile one?
Yeah, we've got the Agile 28-gallon
Okay.
rear tank, and Jorge has the 40-gallon, which is just one main
Yeah,
tank.
like S&B makes that or something.
Yeah,
Titan, I think, makes one too.
yeah, he got it from Agile as well.
Okay.
And
And you just have the rear, but the stock.
yeah, that gives us like 4 or 5 more gallons than Jorge had with the 40.
Okay.
But actually, when we put ours in, the big 40 wasn't out yet, so we just went with that, and it's worked great. But
What's your range like with the stock tank and that 28-gallon agile thing?
500, 550, somewhere in there.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
I
pretty
feel like anything over 500 and you're just like probably carrying more weight than you need to.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's one of those things, we bought it, and I don't know that we've used it we thought we'd need it in Baja, and we turned out the gas stations weren't that far apart.
Yeah.
But Bolivia is the place where that was
That came in handy.
key.
Do you think, we were kind of talking maybe you're going to do another sprinter, another build. Like, would you do the 40 and the 28?
For a trip like that, I probably would consider that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And did you have any problems with the diesel?
No, not really.
Some people do.
Yeah. I mean,
Didn't
ran
your
in-
buddy's truck break down?
Yeah. So Jorge had a problem in Peru. We were like you said.
I remember seeing that on the back of a tray back truck, and I was like scared by proxy.
Well, it got towed twice, and once in Peru, once in Argentina. And we were in this like you said, a really remote place and these mountain passes that just go up forever and then down forever. And it just started like seeming like it was running out of gas. It was kind of sputtering and carrying on. So he actually stopped it was in the middle of the road, and we couldn't get off the side of the road, so we had to winch it off the side of the road, which came in handy to have our winches.
Yeah.
And then we got it there and we looked at it for a minute. And I was like, it's got to be your fuel filters clogged. So we carried extra fuel filters, and so we let it cool down and we replaced a fuel filter. It fired right up. We drove about 2 or 3 miles, and then it did it again.
Oh no.
And we were like, what is this? So then, I don't know, we called our resources, our different friends that thought maybe we'd have some ideas, and nobody really knew. So we spent the night literally in the road. We moved a bunch of sticks and rocks, and that's what they do instead of having safety cones behind vehicles that break down. So we did all that like the locals do. We spent the night in the street, just kind of hoping we weren't going to get clobbered. But it was on a remote mountain pass, so there wasn't really much traffic. And then the next morning, it fired up just like normal. We're like, go, George, go. We're just trying to get at least to the top of the mountain.
Then you can kind of get
pass.
down.
Yeah. And he got maybe 2 or 3 more miles, and then it sputtered out again on him.
And what was it?
Well, we don't know. We thought it was dirty fuel at first, that he got some water in his fuel or something. And he got on a tow truck. They towed it into the nearest big city, which was like a 3-4 hour tow truck ride. Mercedes-Benz shop was there, which is what's great about Mercedes is they do have
Shops
services
everywhere.
all over the world.
And they have a lot of shared componentry, like the Fords in Europe and the Fords in South America and the Fords in America.
They're different.
They're all different.
Yeah. It's not an F-150 that you'd get.
No.
So they worked on it there, and they couldn't explain it, but it started running great. And so I was a little hesitant to be like, okay, are we going to head back out on the 3N? But we did, and it ran great until we got to Argentina, and it had a similar issue. And then it turned out he did have some contaminants in his gas tank that were temporarily clogging the intake on the fuel pump.
Oh.
So they actually had to drop the tank. They looked in there and they found some junk in there. And so
I've heard I've done a few of the like aftermarket roto-molded fuel tanks. And the thing that I've learned is there'll be some
like leftovers.
leftover plastic when they cut the hole or something, and that can be an issue. So I wonder if that was
I didn't
it.
see it, but that's what the mechanics told George, that they found some stuff in there. And I think that kind of explains it. It was somehow it would get sucked up onto the intake and it would stay there.
Yeah.
And then we'd turn it off for a while and gravity would pull it down, and then it would run for a little bit and then it would get sucked back.
Well, that's something to learn.
Yeah.
It's a bizarre thing.
Blow that air tank out with
Yeah.
Right.
before you put it on.
Yeah. And we didn't have any problems.
No. The
other
fuel
than
itself.
our axle.
Yeah.
That was the only mechanical problem we had.
So no problem with the high sulfur diesel and that kind of stuff.
It didn't run as good in times. There were some countries, let me think, it might have been in Peru.
Peru's supposed to be really high.
Yeah.
And so is Bolivia.
We got a tank that it just didn't seem right. It was like we didn't have the power we're used to. And then we were getting some fumes and more exhaust out the back from.
Yeah, and just a little backstory on this. So U.S. cars run on ultra low sulfur diesel. It's like 5 parts per million of sulfur or lower. Some countries don't really have much of a regulation or a fuel quality. Like, it's not that the diesel's bad, but it's just different. And with the emission systems, it can really kind of screw them up. So you make it all the way down to Ushuaia, no real issues other than,
We had one valve stem that had Bolivian dust in it, and it was leaking a little bit from airing up and down, and so I had to clean that out. And
that's pretty minor.
Yeah, pretty minor. I mean, the dang Sprinter van, it got us there. It was great. So,
man, well, I look forward to seeing what you guys do next. You have it. What's the next? Is there a next big thing? We're at the big thing. So
we're at the big thing.
What's your next big thing?
Oh man, there's always a lot of next big things for us. So we're kind of trying to decide which one. Peter and I have some different opinions about what we want to do next. So,
What do you want to do?
I want to go to Africa.
You should do it. You should listen to her.
I should.
Thank you.
I want to go to the stands, so
Yeah.
I want to go to Mongolia.
But Africa has giraffes
Right.
and lions.
And elephants.
Elephants? Mm-hmm. There's no tigers or
You
bears.
thought grizzly bears are scary.
Well, either would be really cool.
They would.
Boy, yeah, but Africa, man.
You know,
it has my heart.
We're kind of excited just to be back in the U.S. and go to some of
Yeah,
our favorite.
take a little time off.
After being gone for 2 years,
Yeah.
It's time
it feals good to be able to walk into a store and know what people are saying and read.
It's easy. Life is easy.
Read labels and signs, and
Well, cool.
it is nice to be back. But yeah, we'll start planning that next big trip before too long.
Well, I can't wait to have you guys on after your next big thing.
We'd love to.
Well, it's great to have you guys on.
Thank you so much.
It's been too long. So where can people follow along? What's your Instagram handle?
Instagram is Peter Holcombe. It's just
Okay.
my name. PeterHolcombe.
Easy.
And we go by the handle of FamaGogo.
Okay.
So on YouTube, we're FamaGogo.
FamaGo. Reading your shirt. FamaGogo.
And it came from the family on the go.
Okay. I love it.
Yeah, we were taking our daughter to go do all these fun things, and
Well, cool.
now she's doing her own thing.
Doing her own thing. I'd say flown the nest, but she's flown the van.
Yeah,
It's true.
she's traveling internationally, paddling all over the world, and living her
crazy.
best life. So
Well, go Abby. So, well, cool, guys. Well, we appreciate your time, and thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you next time.
thank you. It's great to be here.
It's really
See ya.
great.